Testing. Okay, so that's a little quiet on my end. Just bring the volume up a bit. Alright, looks like we are good to go. Can hear myself. So, this is, I guess, the second primary part in this series of converting my Cr10S-Pro into a Voron Switchwire. This part is going to be focused primarily, probably completely, on just reconstructing the Cr10S-Pro that I've almost pretty much deconstructed at this point and made a couple fairly significant modifications to. So you can see here, this is what the Cr10S-Pro looks like, mostly without internal components or without a frame or anything like that. So this is the shell. As you can see, there are a number of holes on this one. If you didn't know what the switch wire is or how it works, you might be slightly concerned, but essentially, reason why I have made a couple significant holes in the metal right here is basically because if I can get the components, 3D printed components, we've basically got these things which are meant to hold stepper motors because of how the motion system works, and so basically these go like that, and they have, and on the other side of here, you've got extrusions that are attached, so they basically just have to attach to the extrusions on the side, and obviously those extrusions are blocked by this, so you've got to cut a hole through it. What I ended up using to do it is is a Dremel, and basically we'll move this to the other side real quick. And so this is what I used to do it. Dremel tool. Um, Almost certainly not what it was designed to do, but seems to have worked. It took multiple tries of recharging it and overheating at least a half a dozen times, and also me, at least on this side, missing the spot where you're supposed to drill it, where you're supposed to make that indentation. But it ended up working out, and the tool still works. So those are the two holes on the hole on either side. So one hole here, just ignore this one, that was a mistake. And then one hole on this side. And then we've got on here, I decided to make a third hole right here. And the reason for that is because the printer typically uses, the Voron Switchwire uses these for cable management. So you can imagine the frame is here, and there's this cable that essentially goes kind of like, basically goes like that. And so there's a 3D printed piece that's supposed to, again, attach to an extrusion that in this case isn't even there, but that's fine because we can just kind of bring it up from the top, and then it can attach to this one, and basically, yeah, that's how it attaches. So you could probably get away with not having that hole in there, but if you can do it, then why not? So now is we're going to begin putting it back together. So first part is this, which is on the inside, and these are the sides that you are going to end up attaching those 3D printed pieces to the side, so it's like that, basically. And you can see some of the Dremel marks because I didn't realize that this would just come out, so that's a good thing to note. If you are going to use like a Dremel or something, or maybe you could probably just use a small drill, to be honest, and then just have like some sort of rotary attachment to it. Um, yeah, just make sure you take this out because you could potentially do some serious damage to your tool. Luckily, it didn't happen to me. And oh, and also, um, be sure to use like eye protection and mouth protection, just to make sure you don't get any micro metal shavings in your eye. That would not be good. So, we're going to start by flipping this guy over onto the underside, and I'm gonna put this one. You can tell which side is the bottom because it's got the sticky side because there's like these foam things that are supposed to go on here, and we're gonna put it right in there like that. It fits in just like that. I'm gonna come on. Okay. Might need to move it around. Reason why I didn't take out this, which I'm pretty sure is like a power supply regulator thing, is just because it's stuck to there. Like it's got some sort of I don't know exactly what it is, but it's basically stuck. Um, and I do remember that there was a mod that was done for some of these because I think this was like a modification that Creality eventually made to this because there was an issue where this was like overheating because it didn't have direct metal contact with the with this, and so there was a modification to like I don't know 3D print some attachment where it would attach to like this or something. Don't remember exactly what it was, but something like that. But anyway, so now that is in place, and it should hopefully stay in place because now we're going to bring this around to the other side. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's sort of staying in place. We can probably work with that. Next up, we have got the y-axis. Y-axis. What'd you call them? The y-axis extrusions. All right. So we've got these two right here. For this, in this case, I just got everything for to just do the X and the Z-axis motion system. I'm gonna keep the Y-axis motion system as it is. I'm not gonna replace it with linear rails just yet because, at least for my purposes, I don't think that's strictly necessary. So, got this bucket of goodies here, screws, and I'll just figure out which one's the correct one. I'm pretty sure it was definitely black screws. Yeah, it was black screws. I know it's definitely not these big ones. These big ones are for the two Z extrusions. 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait. I could actually be. Oh, wait. Could be wrong about that. Yeah, I think I'm wrong about that. Okay, so there's long ones and there's short ones. Good to know. Alright, that should be everything. So we're just gonna get these shorter ones. So these are the short variant, and this one is the long variant. I'm gonna get my bunch of Allen wrenches, Allen wrench collection of sorts. This one will work. Yep, so we just bring it right into there. And I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see this, but see if it lines up. Doesn't look like it's lining up. Okay. Is it lined up? Hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay, I see the hole. Come on. Wait. No, yeah, I'm doing it the right way. Okay, what's going on here? Tell me that's... Oh, wait, is it... I use the big ones? Alright, how small is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. 3, 4, yeah. 7, 8. I'm sure that... It's definitely either this or the... I mean, it could be. Yes. I guess it is the longer ones. Okay. So, it's actually these. And you bring it down here. Also, if any of you have, or anyone who watches this, has viewed any of the previous two public streams, when I assembled the stealth, or almost completely assembled it, I did eventually assemble it. I'll show that off by the... Okay, good. So that's secured on that side. Then, I guess to get it nice and do it on the opposite side. This is a tad bit annoying, but not a big deal. All right. push that into place. Perfect. Go. And just start. Come on. Should be going in. Oh, that's why. Duh. Yeah, maybe you should turn it around. Okay, there we go. All right, 2 down, 2 to go. With those 2 on either side, this should be pretty easy. There we go. All right, that is looking pretty secure. It is interesting with the with what you have here. You could just remove the shell entirely potentially and try to create something with this as well, like with just these extrusions and this, um, and just completely forego this. But that means you'd have to print a lot more. You'd actually have to print the shell of the switch wire and all that. So for the purposes of this, it's probably just better to do it this way. One advantage is it would be easier to enclose it, but I we can cross that bridge when we get to there if I need to. I mean, you can see from the short I made that I did like a whole custom enclosure thing with it anyway. So, all right, so that is secure. So second order of business is to get these guys on there. So these are the Z-axis extrusions. I don't think, okay, yeah. So this side, 2 holes here. This side goes on the bottom. I think they go like that because there's a way, um, on the original switch, on the normal, sorry, on the Cr10S-Pro, motors are secured like that. onto these. So they're placed like that, like so. So we're just gonna tip this to the side, probably tip it to that side, and we will get both of these installed. Start with the bottom one first. All right. So we're going to put it up straight like that. This is constantly getting in the way. All right. Nice. So should pretty much, again, line up. Just, oh yeah, this will be easy. So as long as you've got like a semi-flat surface like this, then should be fine. Okay. So now we are going to use some of these smaller guys, but I think these are the pretty much the largest screws that you're going to need to disassemble and then reassemble on this guy. Same Allen wrench. You're just going to get down and start. Going to get on this side, hold it in place, and then just start twisting the opposite of this way. Yep, it's definitely going in. Alright, this is the slightly annoying part of it where you don't have enough room, so you're gonna have to use your fingers, or if you've got one of those fancy Allen wrench screwdrivers, which I do have a screwdriver with those, but it's like electric. It's big, so. Nope. Alright, one final twist to get it nice and snug. Secure. That is one of the weaknesses of the bed slingers, because they don't have the. It can be prone to vibrations because they don't have as sturdy of a base as the Cr10S-Ys. Okay, so now that we've got that secured, we can move on to the next one. Get another one of these. We are going to thread it into this one. Also, part of the reason I gutted as much of the printer as I possibly could was because I knew I was going to have to make those holes in the side, and obviously you don't want, um, you know, electrical components covered in metal shavings. Could be potentially, almost certainly would cause a short of some kind, and potentially maybe set it on fire or something crazy. So always be smart about that. Don't don't try to be dumb. Right? Probably because it doesn't have anything to support. This side is a little bit more difficult to get down, but it's getting there. So I'm thinking the way that this series is going to go is I'm basically just going to follow the general steps of the switch wire, um, and obviously not following any steps for this because this is not the switch wire, but for the 3D printed components and all that sort of thing. So obviously it starts out with the frame, so we're going to get that done. Electronics is probably going to be one of the last things that gets done. Hopefully that's going to be not as painful as it would be, um, considering there's already a lot of the wiring is kind of done. Like I'm going to be able to reuse a lot of the wires used in it. Alright, I think that's good enough. Seems pretty secure. Alright, let's get this guy on. Should I put the... Yeah, I don't need to put the bottom on. Okay. Oh, oh by the way, what I've got my phone on right now that I'm using to stream this, or at least partially. I'm not fully streaming it from my phone, but I have a 3D printed arm that this whole apparatus is sitting on, so that's why it's kind of bouncy whenever you touch it. But it was fun to do. Okay, so we've got Y's done, Z done, and then we're gonna get the connector, and that would be this guy right here. You can tell because it's got the things on the ends. So this is where the remaining 4 of these small guys come in. Just gonna move that so you can get a better view. I mean, this is pretty intuitive, to be honest, though. So it's not exactly hard to figure out, but might as well be thorough. That one is secure. I'll probably do this side. It's the same for this side, so. Guess I'll test audio in a second to make sure I'm not just talking to myself. Well, I technically am talking to myself, but you know. Test. Okay, cool. You can still hear me. Yeah, I don't think it matters which side this is on. It can be on either side. Does kind of look like there's a little bit of a... You kind of want to push this. Oh, no. Well, no, I don't think that's on incorrectly. Just kind of... I don't think it's necessarily... Especially because it's like... The carriage isn't even going to be... Um, it isn't going to be going along these, right? On wheels. It's just going to be out here, um, suspended by belts. So this is like it, what, maybe a millimeter off on this side. It should not be a massive deal. Hopefully. We shall see. Alright, nice and tight. Get this one nice and tight. Alrighty then. So, got this top done. That is technically, at least kind of for now, the whole frame. There is the carriage bit, which is this guy. So this guy's basically going to sit out here, and it's going to go up and down like it does on the original, but obviously it's going to be a different motion system. I think, okay, so it's been about 38 minutes. Guess I'll take a look at the instructions and kind of see where we're at. I think the next step is linear rails, which that's probably going to take a decent amount of time, so I won't be doing that tonight. Just flipping through the printed. Yeah, so linear rails is definitely next. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so next thing is going to be linear rails. Again, because these like dimensions for this are a bit different than the Switchwire. I've got two for the Z, so one of them's gonna go there, the other one's gonna go there, and these are designed to take as much advantage of that height as possible without being too long and not fitting. And then third one is gonna be on the x-axis, so I'm just gonna go just like that. Should be more than long enough to cover the whole thing. And that is almost certainly going to be next stream, and then we're just gonna keep the wheeled system. So I'm gonna attach this guy, keep the wheeled sort of pulley system as well. If we have time, we'll get that installed. Maybe once this is complete, this whole thing is complete, I will move. I'll upgrade this as well, but that is 2 extra linear rails, and especially with linear rails, it's not so much the cost of the rail as it is the shipping cost that really gets you if you're not buying from Amazon. If you're buying from Amazon, the rails are significantly more expensive, but the shipping is a lot better. So uh, we will see about that. But I think that's most. Oh yeah, one more thing. Um, this is the completed stealth burner that I mentioned. So it's all done. Very, very nice looking, even though there were a couple. There is this gap, which is kind of annoying, but don't think there's a way to fix that, so maybe I'll have to reprint a couple of these parts when this eventually gets all set up, but very, very nice. Uh, okay, so that's going to be the agenda for next time. Um, yeah, I think that is. Oh, yeah, I guess I should mention, since I do have 2 subscribers to this channel, uh, Lindsay, Lindsay, space capital L, Lindsay L, and Cody Dracers, Dracars. So to those 2 subscribers, if you're watching this, good on you. Thanks for subscribing. Very cool. Yeah, I think that is about it. Sorry it took so long to get this set up, but as you can probably tell from the video, I have learned a lot. Been using a different laptop, one that actually has a graphics card that you can use for video encoding, um, and learned a lot about streaming and video encoding and all that. So that is good. Yeah, I think that's about it. I will see whoever's viewing this next time. Probably not tomorrow, but probably either Friday or around the weekend. We'll start working on the linear rails. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. All right. I will be ending the stream now. Bye.